I want to talk about a point talk about the point in a momentum process that is a little bit like the boiling point. To understand this, let's look at the idea of a car. And it's on level ground. And there's no gasoline. There's no internal power. It's on level ground. And this car will sit here for the next 100 years without any of its potential for transportation being utilized. And yet, it only takes a few degrees of slope for this car to be a stellar source of transportation for the next 100 years. As long as this pitch is present, this car will move forward. It's identical to water. If you can have 100 million tons of water. And if it's on completely level ground in a completely level lake, it will never move. But all you have to do in order to get 100 million tons of water to go wherever you want it to go is to change the slope just a couple of inches. Water will always go downhill. Now, the reason to illustrate this important point is that along with each of our goals, along with each of our dreams, anything that we want to move towards, there is a pitch. There is an environmental point that could be called friction. And some of us are moving towards some of our goals. Some of us are moving away from some of our goals. And the goals that we're moving towards are the goals that are easier in the face of the amount of energy that we're spending. We're not like a car or water that has no choice. But the easier that we make it to move towards our goals, we can set up an environment in which it's almost effortless to get to where we want to go. And it's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to go in that direction. And I want to talk about this in small ways. A virtual assistant comes to mind because my assistant has exponentially leveraged my time by a factor of probably 4. I think that as a result of having a virtual assistant, what I'm doing in the world is, there's 400% more significant things that I'm doing in the world because of that. And it makes the difference in deciding whether to do a video like this. Because I can, and I want to talk about that in a very practical way here as well. The fact that I've set this setup up. There's a microphone just out of view. There's 5 different lights that turn on with a single switch right when I walk in the room. There's a camera stand that's already in place. And all I have to do is flip the switch, sit down in the pre-existing chair with a cushion that's the right size, with the blackboard that's already here, wipe off the old thing, and start by pressing record. Now, when I'm done, all I do is take the Note 9, which is my current favorite device because it's so easy to see what you see because I'm looking at it. upstairs, plug it into the laptop, click import, and then send it to Dropbox, and then immediately send the link from Dropbox to my assistant, along with a quick note of which channel it goes on. And this makes the difference of literally 10 times as many videos. And each of these things are a friction reducer, because I used to have to turn on all 5 lights independently. All of the lights used to be on stands, and so I had to move the stands out of the way to walk through my bedroom. It's a pretty big room, but still, in order to get through to the laundry room, some of those lights would be in the way. I'd have to wear a clip. I'd have to check, get a stand out. I'd have to, tell someone else to try and follow what I was saying and draw something. And all of this is the difference between 1,000% more productivity. Productivity in this case being defined not only of producing something, but learning something. I learn along with everyone else as I see these images and make these and think about them more. And so it's not random that 1,000 hours of video have been produced with this setup. And it's not random that I never had that setup before and I produced, 100 times less video. When you make it easy to do anything that you want to do, be that speaking, be that writing, be that creating videos. For example, when I wanted to start writing books, I learned that if I could get the entire chapter done in one sitting and edit it on the spot, that I would write 10 times more. So since I had a 30-minute minimum attention span, if I could keep all the chapters to 30 minutes or less, I would basically write up to 3 chapters a day. Anytime I had an idea, just sit down and type it out. And off we'd go. And suddenly I went from few, if any, books being finished to 1 to 2 books a year. And so Elon Musk talks about the fact that the difficult thing is not designing the Model 3. The difficult thing is creating the factory, designing the factory that creates the Model 3. The difficult thing is not designing a battery. The difficult thing is creating the Gigafactory in such a way that it makes very efficient batteries of that design constantly and then transports them to where they need to be. So these are the really difficult things, to set up the systems that make creating the kinds of things that we want to create easy. Be that money, be that videos, be that sex, be that rich, intelligent conversations, be that having positive impact in the world, be that environmental reduction of carbon footprints, whatever that is. It makes a huge difference to go from level ground or uphill ground to just a few inches and a few inches more rolling in the right direction. Good luck, and let me know what you tilt in your life so that something you want gets done faster and easier.